Hey y'all, welcome to the Fill-In Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, y'all, let me give my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at Tesla, and as you can see, we closed at 316.35, y'all. Tesla come off of this high on yesterday, the high of this candle 327.26, only to come down to this, I think this area here around the 315, yes, and then we came down to the 311 area after hours, back to this area of 316.60. We stayed there for a while, so that has been our support area as of now. So where are the trouble places back to the upside? Let's say we would definitely need to get back above the 318.26, breaking that level 318.85. Should we break that level 319.11? And should we break that, we have 320.04, which the ATR trailing stop at 320.39 is not very far away. So there's a lot of resistance in this area for Tesla, in my opinion. Should we break the ATR trailing stop at the 320.39, again, strong rejection area, we could very well have trouble again here, 321.21. And y'all see the 200 EMA as of right now is right here at a line that we have marked at 321.75, breaking that level 322.25, 322.84, not far away. Should we break that level 323.74, and again 324.52, breaking that level 325.10, and you see there's a few layers here, so I'm going to just say here, right here at 325.66, and breaking that 326.42. so if you are trading Tesla to the upside, those are possible areas of rejection or your resistance areas. Again, not financial advice. Now back to the downside, if by chance we break under 317.61, price is holding us up here, back to the downside, we could very well find support again here at this 316.60. breaking that excuse me, brings us back to the 315.43 area, and should we break that, we could very well come back to around 314.38, breaking that level 313.45, breaking that 312.82, and again 311.50, breaking the 311.50, 310.07. should we break that level, we could very well come back to 308.47, and should we break that level, we could possibly find support around 307.04. so those are possible support and resistance areas for Tesla. And I say possible, y'all, because in this market anything is possible, right? So I'm gonna look, I do believe we have our economic calendar, and as we see here, we have building permits that anything can move the market. Let's say that we have initial jobless claims. Why? Because the market is closed tomorrow for Juneteenth. So keep that in mind, trading today, that the market is going to be closed tomorrow. And let's see, we have FOMC at 2 o'clock today. So that could very well move the market, or it may not be what was said at 2 o'clock, or, what said at 2:30. That could very well move us in either direction, y'all. So keep in mind, keep a track of what's going on in the news, because it could very well move the market today in either direction. I need to say that. Wanted to point that out, right? So we are now looking at the SPY. We closed at 597.53, and as you can see, the SPY is just trading in this area here. And one of the things I wanted to point out with Tesla, I knew that it was setting us up for something different, because of the sideways movement and how it had been moving sideways. So the SPY, kind of like in the same, but not quite. So support is around this area here of 597.95. Resistance, we could possibly say, 598.98. That is going to be a rejection area for us. Now, 598.13. 598.13 as support, resistance at around 598.98. That will be the zone that SPY is trading in as of now. Back to the upside, we could possibly have trouble 599.26, 599.50. The ATR trailing stop as of now 599.72. My opinion, that's going to be a strong resistance area. We got rejected here. So if we should break this level to the upside, we could possibly have trouble $600.07. $600.38 and around $600.98, breaking that 601.40. Should we break that for the SPY, 601.77, Now breaking that brings us back to 602.07. Now back to the downside. Let's say this level here, 597.95. Breaking that brings us back to around 597.69, and breaking that level brings us back to this area around 597.36. Should we break that somewhere around the 596.94, and again here at 596.71, 596.45, 595.97, breaking that 595.67. So if you are trading the SPY today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. And y'all know I say so often, in this market, anything is possible. We are now looking at Meta. We closed at 697.23. And it seems as if Meta is an inside day candle. It is, and it is trading in this little zone for us right now. Support is at around 698.27, resistance $700.99. Now trouble places to the upside, breaking above this area of $700.99. We could possibly have trouble 702.47, breaking that 703.51, 705.50, again at 706.17, 707.23, breaking that 711.27. Keep in mind, anything can stop us out in between this area here. Now back to the downside, losing this area of support at 698.27. We could very well come back to around $600, 696.06. 696.06 is a support place. There's a lot of support in this area for Meta. We have, the 200 EMA, the ATR trailing stop, and a lot of support lines. I'm going to see if I can make that. There we are. So there's a few layers of support right here. So I'm going to just use the ATR trailing stop, in my opinion. That's going to be a strong support area for, in my opinion, 694.75. For Meta. Breaking that brings us back to around this level of 693.36, breaking that 692.34, and should we break that 690.80, breaking that level brings us back to 688.16, and should we break that, we could very well find support somewhere around 685.28. Keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out in between this area here. Now, what's interesting about Meta today, it is an inside day candle, and I will give the trigger for that, meaning if by chance we break above 706.17, the upside target for Meta is 707.23. Now to the downside, under 696.06 area, we can come back to 693.36 would be the target for that. So if Meta is something that you trade today, y'all know I say so often, trade carefully. Mark your levels, and once it goes against your why, get out. So we are now looking at AMD. We closed at 127.10, and as you can see, we are finding support. I need to mark this level here. This is one of those examples that kind of like having a space in between a level that I've already have marked. So we're going to mark that today right here. Something is stopping us, or has stopped us, at this area here. So I need to remember this for AMD. Support is around the 128.61. Resistance somewhere around this level, 129.24. Breaking that, we could possibly have trouble 129.72, and you see the ATR trailing stop not far away, 129.91. Should we break that, we could very well get stopped out somewhere around this level here of 130.64, and if we break that, 131.14, and again here at 131.85, those are possible rejection areas for AMD. Now back to the downside. Let's say we lose this area of support, 128.61. We could very well come back to 128.01. The 250 EMA around the 127.79 as of now could be a support area for us. Breaking that, 127.37. And should we break that level, 126.67. You could see price kept us here for a while. So definitely I would watch that area. Not financial advice. 126.67, losing that area, we could very well come back to around the 125.69, again 124.94, and again here at 124.47. Breaking that brings us back to around that 200 EMA on this 30-minute chart at the 123.97. So if you are trading AMD today, those are possible areas to the upside and to the downside. Again, y'all, not financial advice. We are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 144.12. NVDA is also an inside day candle. So Let's give the trigger for that. If by chance we break above 145.24, upside target today for NVIDIA 146.19. Now to the downside, if by chance we break under 143.77, we have a downside target today at 143.16. So now let's look at those levels. Where is our support or trouble places, as I like to say, right? Support is around this 144.17, resistance around this area 144.65. Now should we break that area, we could possibly have trouble 144.82. Breaking that brings us back to around 145.02. Should we break that, it brings us back to, you see where that ATR trailing stop is at 145.28, and a line that we have here at 145.39. So there's going to be a little bit of trouble, in my opinion, in this area for NVIDIA. However, if we should break back above 145.39, we could possibly have trouble again 145.80. But keep in mind, we could very well get stopped out anywhere between this area here. Breaking that brings us back to 145.96, and should we break that level 146.19, which is the target for today, breaking through that trigger of 145.24. Now back to the downside, let's say we break under this level 144.17. If we should lose that area, we can come back to around the 143.77. You see that's 200 EMA is not very far away, that 143.70. Should we break that level, we could possibly have trouble again 143.32, and breaking that 143.16, breaking that level 142.90. And should we break that, we could very well come back to 142.42. But keep in mind, there's something that could stop us out from this area here. So I would definitely watch that. If NVIDIA is something that you trade today under 142.42, we could possibly have trouble again somewhere around the 142.08, and breaking that level, let's see, right here at 141.88. So if you're trading NVIDIA today, I say trade carefully, y'all. In this market, anything is possible, right? So we do again have a few inside day candles, Carvana, CBNA being one of those, meaning if we should break the level of 295.40, the upside target for Carvana is 304.62. Now to the downside, under 288.02, downside target is this 283.54. So Carvana is an inside day candle. If that is something that you trade, y'all know I say trade carefully, right? So C, or Citigroup, is also an inside day candle. If by chance we break above $78, upside target is $78.31. Now to the downside, under 77.11, which we've broken through that trigger, downside target for C or Citigroup is 76.94. So if that is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully. I do believe Google, Alphabet Inc., yes, is an inside day candle. Let's see. If by chance we break above this level of 178.28, the upside target was 178.32, not very far away, right? It looks like we're having trouble at this 177.99 area. Now back to the downside, if by chance, let's say we break under this level here of 175.83, we can have a downside target for Google today at 173.48. So if Alphabet Inc. C is something that you trade today, it is an inside day candle, and I do believe Alphabet Inc. A is also an inside day candle. So let's look at those levels above the 176.94, 177.12, not far away. To the downside, under 174.63, downside target 172.39. So if Alphabet A or C is something that you trade today, I say trade carefully, y'all. I say so often in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. So y'all, this is what I see when I look at the market, and I say so often, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging sometimes is trying to figure out what strategy works best for you and for us to have the discipline to execute our plan. So make sure you have your stop losses or whatever it is that you choose to use, but make sure you get in at the right time, out at the right time. With that being said, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. Again, y'all, if you could please like, share, comment, subscribe. We learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.